Hi, I'm Bethany Wallace, and I want to give you a little tip if you are a job seeker. So, this is something that my career mentor, this is a tip that my career mentor has given me as a business owner. And so, I want you to apply it if you're a job seeker. Um, as business owners, a lot of times we will sort of undervalue or underestimate our worth, and especially when we're trying to price our services or solutions. And I've done that myself so many times. And my career mentor is very kind, but also a tough cookie. And her name is Samantha Hartley. She's a consultant to entrepreneurs and business owners and leaders. And she's fabulous. You should definitely check her out. So Samantha will say, you don't base your pricing on just comparing how much you charge and how much everybody else is charging, or you don't base your pricing on trying to figure out, well, what should my hourly rate be? So let's say, how long is this going to take me? I'm estimating I'll spend about 3 hours on preparing the material, and then I'm going to spend 2 hours presenting it. Plus, I'm going to spend like 30 minutes driving there. So a lot of business owners will base their rates on like basically hours, hours spent. And sometimes it's, when you're starting out as a business owner, that's kind of all you've got to go on, or all you feel you have to go on. But she says, no, don't do that. So what she says instead to do is figure out what you're worth. Like, what does the value of what you're bringing to the client save them? Or what is it worth to the client? If you can bring them some kind of solution that's going to revolutionize the way that they do a certain process, or it's going to improve their communication internally, and you can prove that to them, and then what is that really going to be worth to them? Or if you can help them improve writing in the workplace, and that's going to improve this thing, this thing, this thing, and this thing, then so you think about that, like that's where the value is in your service or your training sessions or whatever it is that you're selling. So take that same principle about pricing and apply that as a job seeker to salary negotiation. Now, of course, I know, like, as a job seeker, you may already be arguing in your head and thinking, well, I can't negotiate because this employer and that employer, there's just a set salary range because it's a state employer, or they don't have, they've already told me that there isn't any room for negotiation because of this and this and this. Okay, well, maybe there are just employers that's true. And I know there are like state and federal jobs that they just have levels, and that's how it is. Okay, well, maybe there are those situations. Most employers, there's some wiggle room for negotiation on salaries. And a lot of times how they decide what they're going to offer you or what they will come to in terms of agreement is based on lots of different factors. And one of those factors is based on what you ask for and what you come to them with in terms of how you persuade them regarding how they perceive what you're worth. So how are you presenting yourself in terms of your worth and value as a potential new employee? And I'm not just talking about how you sell yourself in the interview. I'm talking about, like, what do you really think you're worth? If you're thinking about salary negotiation before you get to that job offer point, and you kind of suspect you're going to be offered the job, and what you're thinking about is, let's say it's a job that you think is going to be in the range of $100,000. And what you think about is, well, if they can offer me $100,000, then I'll be okay. I'll be okay with that. And I'll just accept it. And whatever standard benefits package comes with that, that'll be fine. But if they try to offer me less, I guess if they try to offer me like in 85 or 90,000, I guess I'd probably accept it, but maybe I would counter by asking for an extra week of vacation or something, so that it looks like I'm trying to still get something, you know. I mean, I guess you can do that if you want, but why are you willing to accept less than your worth is one question I would ask you. And the other question I would ask you is, why should the employer be able to pay you less than your worth and just offer you some kind of compensation in the form of benefits, which don't actually add up to that same amount? I mean, maybe they should have to give you another extra week of vacation time, because I don't know what their benefits package looks like, but if they're just offering you like 2 weeks of vacation or something really lame, you might deserve another week's of paid vacation, depending on your level of responsibility and stress at that company, as well as that salary range of what you're really worth. Remember, like, you really need to get in your mindset that it's okay to ask for what you're worth. And now, that being said, also, like, think back that you have to perform at a level that makes it possible for you to ask for what you're worth. You can't just have this inflated idea of I'm worth $100,000 and then like kind of halfway perform. You know, it has to be fair for you and the employer. But if you're a hard worker, you're dedicated, you're committed to the organization, you're passionate about your job, and you are super smart, talented person, and you're like, you meet and exceed all these expectations on a regular basis, there's no reason that you shouldn't be asking for what you're worth and expecting it. And even when it comes to what we're talking about here about salary and negotiation. So, in benefits and perks. So, I would just really encourage you to take your time if you can when you're searching for jobs also, because that's another pitfall that people get into. Even seasoned professional employees, you know, seasoned professionals, when they're really getting serious about doing a job search and in career fulfillment, it's easy to get just burnt out where you're like, I don't even care anymore, man. The next thing that comes along, as long as it's decent, I'm taking it. You know, remember, like, sort of the good, the bad, and the ugly. Like, a lot of people end up falling for the bad or accepting the bad because they just want anything. They're willing to take anything. That's a pitfall there. And don't allow time to wear you down, or other things to just, you know, tire you out in your job search. So just remember what you're worth, surround yourself with mentors and positive influences, great role models and friends who continually sort of pump you up and remind you that it's worth waiting for the right thing and for the right employer, the right situation. So that's just a little encouraging word for you, and I hope that you have a fabulous rest of your day.